the account of Colin Rugg. I don't know Colin, but I know he does quite a bit of reporting on crime and use of force events that I find pretty even-handed. So he's been a good source of these kinds of news events and even-handed reporting on them. I don't know anything about his politics or attitudes towards the Second Amendment or anything like that. But in terms of this kind of stuff, I found them to be a useful source of content for our shows. He writes, New York City liquor store owner is facing 7 years in prison after shooting a thief who assaulted him and tried stealing from his store. The incident happened after Francisco Valereo and his brother Luis caught Kevin Pulatasi and Edwin Paquiza stealing. The owner shoved them out the door before the thieves, both 20, started kicking and punching them. Valerio then tried swinging at one of the thieves while holding a gun, which was allegedly fired on accident, hitting Pulatasi. I'll just interrupt to say, on accident it's by accident, not on accident. Continuing, Valereo is facing 2 counts of assault, which could land him in prison for 7 years. The 2 thieves were charged with petty larceny and face up to a year in jail. And there's video here. We have video from inside the store and outside the store. So I'll go ahead and play that now. Make myself small down here. And as you can see, it starts in the store. The petty thieves have been caught. The shoplifters have been identified as shoplifters. And they're being physically grabbed and removed from the premises. First of all, is this lawful by the shopkeeper? Can he use force to stop a theft? I mean, this is clearly non-deadly force. He's just going hands-on, grabbing somebody. There's no threat of death or serious bodily injury to the shoplifter here. Sure, you can use force to defend property, right? Non-deadly force to defend property. Even in New York, you can use non-deadly force to defend mere personal property, and you can use non-deadly force to remove a trespasser from your property. Now, this is, of course, a commercial enterprise, the liquor store. There's an implicit license for people to come in for the purpose of lawfully purchasing goods and maybe services, depending on some of these New York City liquor stores provide all kinds of stuff. But once you tell someone they no longer have license to be there, to get out of the property, and they refuse, you're allowed to physically use non-deadly force to physically remove them from the property. By the way, you could also use physical force to detain them. Shopkeeper's privilege is a flavor of citizen's arrest, where a shopkeeper is allowed to detain. A shopkeeper is allowed to detain a suspected shoplifter for purposes of waiting for police to arrive. But that's not what happens here. This shopkeeper does not assert a shopkeeper's privilege. He's not attempting a detention. He just wants this guy thrown out of his store, him and his buddy. And that's what happens. So let's watch the video here. There's no audio, by the way. This old guy's got him by the neck. Get out of here, you punks. You dirty punks. And now they're out. So, in a perfect world, this would be the end of this event, right? The shopkeeper probably won't even call police. I mean, when are they going to respond to a non-violent crime, which is what this is so far? And the thieves are out of the store. Don't ever come back. They'll recognize them. Little shop, same people working in there all the time. These guys won't be coming back in there again. Should be over. Except we run into a problem that often arises in personal confrontation, and that is they go sideways commonly for 2 reasons: alcohol and ego. I don't know if there's any evidence that these the 2 thieves were consuming alcohol. Presumably the shopkeeper was not, but certainly it looks like ego's involved. So the people who were just tossed out are looking at the shopkeeper. He's standing in his doorway. He's looking at, they're eyeballing each other. I presume that they are saying mean things to each other. Get out of here, you punk. Piss off, old man. I'll kick your butt. I'll kick your butt. You are. No, you are. F you. No, F you. So I presume that's what's happening. People are getting their egos engaged here. And that rarely results in a good outcome, and it doesn't result in a good outcome here. The shopkeeper should have just shut his door. I mean, if he's not going to call the police and try to get these 2 arrested, which is unlikely to be productive in New York anyway. He's got him out of the shop. They didn't steal anything. Go. Get out. Close the door. Go about your day. Instead, ego's getting engaged, shouts back and forth. Let's continue. Oh yeah, old man. I'll give you a piece of my mind. I'll give you a piece of this fist, a piece of this foot. So the guy in the dark jacket is the one who really goes physical here. Charges in, right? Physical aggressor? Sure. Punches. Old man comes out. I presume he's saying, you're number one here. You're number one. That's what that raised hand. The resolution isn't very good. You're number one. So backpack off. Is that a pre-fight indicator? Amongst all this other stuff, the charging back at the door, the fighting stance here, are these all things you should recognize as pre-fight indicators, both for your own assessment of whether you're facing an imminent threat of harm, AOJ, as well as being able to articulate to other people why that perception was a reasonable perception? Sure. Charges in, grabs the door. Hard to tell if that's the old man's arm or leg. It looks like the old man's hand is on the crossbar on the door, actually. So the thief is kicking and punching. He's not entering the store, though, right? I mean, the fight's really in the doorway. The thief is really outside. And now the old man and his buddy come out. So now what's happening? Is the thief backing up here? Who's the initial aggressor now? Is it the shopkeeper and his buddy? Maybe his employee? Maybe his agent? Now, has the thief regained innocence here by withdrawing from this fight? By backing away from the fight? I mean, he might try to argue it. If you're trying to regain innocence, no longer be the aggressor, by withdrawal in communication, the communication can be constructive. It can just be your physical act of withdrawing from the fight to indicate to a reasonable person that you no longer wish to fight. I think that would be a hard sell here because clearly the thief is still prepared to fight. Now, he might say, well, I'm just prepared to defend myself. Now it's 2-on-1. 2 guys coming after me. Of course, the thief has his buddy there in the red jacket too. I can't remember now if red jacket gets involved. All right. Comes out, bang. So that's the swipe. I added the bang, of course. Here comes the hand. There's a gun in hand. It looks like he never makes contact. It looks like he misses. But apparently what happens here is as the arm goes to full extension and he thinks he's going to hit, maybe he clenches his hand on the pistol, depresses the trigger, fires the shot that hits the thief in the black jacket. Ow, 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 oh, ow. I should have put those on the screen. Ow, ow, ow. I'm shot. Get out of here. Oh, there's the gun. You can clearly see the gun in the shopkeeper's hand there. By the way, I don't do gun law. I especially don't do New York gun law. In New York, it's a very different matter to be allowed to be in possession of a gun in your home or your business than to have a concealed carry permit. So it's not easy in New York City, New York Metro, immediate New York suburbs to even get a gun in your home, especially a handgun, I should say, in your home or business. That can take a year or more to get the permit just for that. But they do not issue licenses for concealed carry. Or if they do, it takes years to get one. So it's quite possible. The shopkeeper I know was not charged with a gun crime. So I presume that he was legally in possession of the gun, and it's a liquor store. They're subject to robberies. It would be an easier scenario in which to obtain a license to have a gun inside the shop. He's not walking around carrying it concealed out in public. That would be a completely different matter. Let's see. So everyone, I presume everyone is surprised. I don't think the shopkeeper shot this dude intentionally. This would be a really weird way to shoot somebody, right? That would be the oddest. I guess what was that What was that movie with Angelina Jolie? Was it Wanted? Was that the name of it? Where they present the gun with a twisting motion so that the trajectory of the bullets goes around the pig. Yeah. It was this, right? See if I can pull up the this movie with Morgan Freeman, Chris Morgan, Angelina Jolie. But I don't think that's what this shopkeeper was trying to do here. I think he was trying to punch him. I don't even think he was really trying to pistol whip him. I mean, you pretty much have to be within arm's reach of someone's head, right? That's a pistol whipping. You don't pistol whip someone in their abdomen with a handgun. I think he might have forgotten he had a gun in his hand, and he was just trying to strike some kind of punch, and clenched his hand and unintentionally discharged the gun. I expect this is what happened. So, and the guy in the black jacket gets shot. So, the shopkeeper has been charged with assault, and it looks like it's assault in the, let's see, second degree, because they say he's subject to 7 years. Assault in the second degree in New York is a class D, as in David, felony. That's the one that's good for up to 7 years.